Today I am making over this wingback chair that my husband just had to have when we moved into this house, but the purplish burgundy color really does not go with the vibe of my living room at all. Instead of reupholstering the chair, I'm going to give it a faux leather look. Now this is not a new technique. There are several other videos from other creators over the past year that have done this, and I will link all of the videos I got inspiration from down in my description box. Here are the supplies I'll be using: cheap paintbrushes because they will get ruined and thrown away, paint colors of your choice. I used a light, medium, and dark tone brown, fabric softener, and a spray bottle. The paint colors I'm using are all by Valspar, Natural Cork, Cafe Meal, and Cowboy Boots. Starting with the lightest color, I'm pouring 1 part paint and 1 part fabric softener into a mixing container. I actually found that the 1-to-1 ratio was a little bit too thick, and for the rest of the colors, I did 1 part paint to about 3/4 fabric softener. The reason you add the fabric softener is to keep the paint from becoming crunchy and hard on the fabric surface. It also helps add to the faux leather look I'm going for. As you mix the paint, it will start to become thicker and have more of a pudding-like consistency. In the spray bottle, you want to combine water and then more fabric softener. For this mix, I only added a splash of the fabric softener. Spray the chair down with the water mixture before applying the paint. This is going to help the paint absorb into the fabric as well as spread your paint farther. In some of the videos I watched, the creators would blend their paint colors with each layer. I decided to paint my entire chair in the lightest color, giving it 2 coats before adding in the darker shades. Here's what it's starting to look like. The right side has only 1 coat of paint on it, and then with 2 coats you can see it's starting to cover up that red even more. So hopefully by the 3rd coat you won't be able to see any more of that red showing through, but this is a very difficult color to cover. Keep going with coat number 2. Next, I need to mix the darker colors with the fabric softener so we can start adding depth to make this chair look like leather. As I started blending the darker tones, I added another coat of the lightest color. That way I could blend the 2 together easily. In the end, you really do not see the lightest color at all, and I ended up liking the darker colors better and covered the surface with those instead. To get a seamless blend, you want to go back and forth with the colors, overlapping them until you no longer see the hard edges of either color. So I've started adding in both the medium tone and the darker of the brown tones to this. This edge here, I think the wing part, I think looks so good. And then you can see this middle part is kind of muddy, doesn't really look that great. So the key that I have found to making it look really natural and seamless is just taking the water, spritzing it, making sure you have it nice and wet, and then going back and forth with all of your brushes, all of your colors, and just really blending everything really well. And I'm finding that to look so good. I can't wait to have this finished to see how it's all going to look, because I think it's going to look amazing. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of the medium tone paint, literally just the tiniest little bit on my brush. I don't know if you can even see how small it is on this brush. There is nothing. And then we're going to go in because it really does spread on the wet paint. Here's what the chair is looking like so far, and I'm hoping you can tell on camera. I've done several coats of the paint on both the arms,
both sides, and then the back and the wings. So you can kind of tell that they are definitely a little more shiny than the seat is. So I've only done one coat on the seat, and it's definitely not the right texture to have that faux leather appearance. And it also, like, if you feel it, it just feels a little bit rougher. It doesn't feel as like leather-like and soft like the rest of it does. So you definitely need to build up multiple layers of this paint to get that look of the faux leather. So I'm going to add a few more layers to the seat here.
I continued building up the layers and blending my colors, adding the deepest color to all of the creases and seams of the chair. This gave it a lot of dimension and added to the leather look. The first few layers of paint you add, the fabric will not have that leather look and feel to it. It takes about 4 to 5 coats of paint before you will finally see that leathery look. So don't get discouraged if you try this and you don't see that effect right away. Are you guys ready to see this reveal? I am so excited about how it turned out. Here's a little sneak peek of it. No one ever sat in this chair before I painted it, so I'm really not going to be too upset if no one sits in it now. But you can also get a little sneak peek of the wall that I'm doing in my living room that will be coming up in a future video. You're so noisy when I'm filming. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at that before and after. So you can still see the pattern and the texture that was on this chair. I was never going to be able to get rid of that just because of how the print was and how the design was on the initial chair. But I kind of think it gives that almost embossed look to the fabric, and I really love the way that it turned out. Friends, let me know what you think about this paint technique. Would you ever give it a try? I figured it wouldn't hurt to do a little experiment on a chair that no one uses in my home, and it definitely exceeded my expectations. I'll see you in the next one.